On today's show, who gets blamed for the Mavs' fourth quarter collapse against New Orleans Pelicans? There's enough to go around, but I think there's a leader. Today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog, Dwight Powell.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave you.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for being in every day and making Locked On Mavs your first listen. The number one sports podcast network is Locked On. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during the NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And join me, as always, the Postgame Prodigy from the Great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What'd you see from the Mavs tonight, Slightly Biased?
I had to clean my desk area because I projectile vomited several times watching this game. It feels like there's a 90% chance of the Mavs play in Smoothie King Arena. It's going to be the worst game I've ever seen. Like, I don't know what it is.
They do tend to play badly there. And so we'll get into the Mavs' loss to the Pelicans. We'll get into Anthony Davis' game. We'll get into Klay Thompson's tale of two halves. We'll get into the decisions, and we'll get all kinds of stuff. Let's start here slightly. Who gets the most blame for the Mavs? Another fourth quarter collapse in this one. And the Mavs came in on the road. They were not the favorite. Pelicans were 1-point favorite. Not a big underdog, but Mavs were not the favorite. Pelicans had come in 4-game winning streak. They had looked a lot better as of late. They've kind of come on strong. Their offense, this is something I sent to the text line people before the game here, is that don't be surprised by this Pelicans team because they have really turned on their offense as of late. Their first 16 games of the season, they averaged 109.3 points. That's 30th in the NBA. This is just points per game. Their last 15 games, 122 points per game. That's fourth in the NBA over that stretch of time. Like, they have really turned on their offense. Having Derek Queen as a hub has really opened up a lot of things for them. And it's interesting to see a big man actually being the hub of an offense as opposed to what the Mavericks said they were going to use AD for, and I don't think they have. And to see the different drivers they have and Fears and Sadiq Bey doing some things and Trey Murphy and obviously Zion Williamson. And to see them bring Zion Williamson off the bench so that they could play him longer in the fourth quarter. And then when he was playing in the fourth quarter, he only played 25 minutes, but he was just ready to go and outplayed Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg and everybody in that fourth quarter just because like 3 or 4 times in a row, he just attacked the bucket. Boom, 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 boom. 10 points in the fourth quarter for him just when the Pelicans needed it. The Mavs were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, ended up going down by 11 at the end of the fourth quarter, and then kind of got it close at the end, but it was just there's not enough time left on the clock here. But who gets the blame for you if you're going to go through this game?
I think there's enough to go around for everybody. I mean, honestly, it was just a real stinky game. Stinky enough to the point where it's like Caleb Martin is the only guy on the team that played real minutes tonight where I'm like, you're good. Like, I don't really have a bone to pick with anything you did, honestly.
Really? Nothing?
No, Caleb Martin was fantastic tonight, honestly. Like, he legitimately was.
Definitely his best game of the season.
That game for Caleb Martin was enough to be like, oh my God. Like, if there was like an injury and you're telling me like, oh, Caleb Martin's feeling really good now and he's back and it's like, this is how he's going to play. It's like, all right, I mean, we could squeeze some minutes in there for him for sure. Mavs won. He had the best on-off numbers of the night, and that definitely matches the eye test. But I mean,
+9, everybody else was a minus or just +1. B-Will was +7.
I think ultimately it falls here, and it's nothing against the two guys you've got right now, but you don't have a guard. You don't have somebody to realistically and consistently get you into good looks and good sets. The Mavs they were in the bonus with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they drew 2 fouls the rest of the quarter. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they just were not getting the ball in advantageous situations. And, I think defenses have kind of figured out the NIMBY stuff where it's like, this guy just will not shoot threes. Like, he's not a 3-point shooter. It's okay to give him some space there. And I still think he's a good player and he's a good guard and all that. But, like, I don't think he's realistically a starting guard for a team that is real serious, and B-Will is very similar. Where it's like teams know he's not a shooter at this point in time. And so when your two guards aren't shooters, it makes it difficult. And now the Mavs are kind of trying to figure out all right, who's going to lead our offense in the fourth quarter? They tried to go through AD, and that had very mixed results. And it was a lot of high post touches that led to, 16 footers, which are hit or miss. And you're just not getting him the ball in the post. They go away from we're already at the point where it's just like, if Coop doesn't have the ball late down the game, what are we doing?
That's literally what we said against the Sixers. It's like your offense is designed around Cooper Flagg getting the ball in crunch time. And I didn't think Cooper Flagg get the ball in crunch time in this one. And you're like, all right, well, if that's what that's what the team is designed around, first of all, that's a problem. Second of all, you have to then do that. You have to then get him the ball late. And he took 11 shots in this game.
Well, it's not necessarily that it's designed around it when they have a guard out there, but it is just he's one of your best advantage creators. And it's just where's the two-man game with him and AD? Why is AD not setting a ball screen for him? Or why is he not setting a ball screen for AD? I mentioned this there was that one play against the Sixers where they cleared out a side of the floor and Flagg set a ball screen for Nimby and it led to a foul. And it's that's beautiful. That's good basketball. That's good stuff. They don't do anything like that. And Coop wasn't good tonight either. We'll just call it what it is. So we're not saying Cooper Flagg is perfect. He's a perfect golden child and he needs to have the ball every single time down the floor. But yeah, games like this where they lose and it's Cooper Flagg had 11 shots, you just can't help but feel gross. What did I just see?
We've also hit a point where Cooper Flagg will have a 16, 6, and 6 night and we'll be like, it was a bad night. It was a bad game. It was a bad game for the 18-year-old rookie.
Yeah, but I do think 19 now.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe the age
leads to the flag, man.
Maybe the age curve is starting to hit him.
Listen, we all get older.
Yeah.
Stuff happens to us. Our bones start creaking. We got to go to the doctor more.
He's questionable with a back injury, man. That's old. That's an old man.
He's been carrying the team in the clutch on his back, and it just caught up to him. But no, I think this is one where you're Zion outplayed Anthony Davis late in this game. Anthony Davis outplayed Zion Williamson the whole game, and everybody else in the Pelicans for the whole game until the final 5 minutes, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, Zion was great down the stretch. Like you said earlier, this isn't a 7-22 Pels team the way that they've been playing really all year, but especially lately. So they deserve some props. They turned it on in the fourth quarter, and the Mavs really had no answer for all the size the Pelicans had. Very difficult for them to get anything. And yeah, I think it was 7 or 8 possessions in a row the Pelicans scored on down the stretch. Man. Or got fouled on, that's difficult. And a lot of it was Zion just put his head down and getting to the rim and finishing. And it felt like a great contest by PJ, but Zion is so good at that, just finding the tiny sliver of space he needs to get the ball up. He's so quick and athletic we've talked about this a million times is Coop's great. It's awesome. Coop can do the stuff he can do at this stage of his career, but the Mavs without Kyrie Irving do not have a go-to consistent guy in the fourth quarter of the game that you feel good about 100% of the time. Yeah, it's great. I feel good 100% of the time when Cooper has the ball, but it's because I'm cool with losing a game if Cooper, misses a shot. Yeah, I'm cool with that 100%. So that's why I'm cool with it. But in terms of winning basketball games, you're not 100% certain you're going to get a great look with Coop at this point, and that is what it is. AD, you're not 100% certain. Kyrie at least gives you that. Do they win this game with Kyrie tonight? Yeah, I would say probably. I thought that's how bad some of the guard play was at times.
I would like to blame the guard play. All 4 potential guard answers went 0 for 4 from 3. Nembhard, Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy, all did not have great games. Nembhard had 8 assists, but he had 5 turnovers too. And this one, but it's not like the Pelicans had good guard play either. They just had their wings and their guys actually, finish in the fourth and had more juice in the fourth than they did throughout the rest of the game. And I think that, man, it was really, it was just a really tough watch in that fourth quarter in the final 5 minutes to watch the Mavs collapse again, literally almost the same way they did against the Sixers, where their offense how many points did they score? They scored 26 points in the fourth quarter.
And some of that was late and a pretty fake
it was
comeback.
Probably closer to 20 points.
Yeah. Yeah, not good. We've touched on it. It's just, it's hard when you don't have the guy, Zion.
And that guy be a ball handler. Zion is a ball handler.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Cooper Flagg will be.
Yeah. And it's Cooper Flagg's good enough to be the guy that you put the ball in, the guy whose hands you put the ball in late. But it's just, you're going to have to live with games like this. But the problem is he really didn't have the ball in his hands at all in the fourth quarter of this game.
It felt like the beginning of the season where they're like, hey, they're going to put the ball in Cooper Flagg's hands. We're gonna make him a point guard. Okay, well then put the ball in his hands. It wasn't.
I'm just like, why can we not? Is there a reason we're not running like ball screens for him? I don't understand it.
I don't understand a lot of what's happening with the Mavericks in some of these games, especially late, especially and with some of these lineups. They do have. I mean, we could say they have some injuries, but it was just Max Christie who was missing today.
I mean, if we're gonna do the injury thing, they're without their starting center, their starting point guard. Like they are injured.
I mean, but the injuries to like the players that we know are going to play.
Yeah.
Lively's played 7 games. Kyrie hasn't played at all.
Right. All right.
We're going back to roster design. We can have arguments about that. We can have arguments about that too.
No, I know. But if you're going to do the injury stuff, it's like, well, the Mavs are like perpetually very injured.
For sure. They are missing guys. Like this roster is not what it was designed to be, but
yeah,
they have injury prone players.
They do. That's true.
Coming up, the good things we saw from Anthony Davis, from Cooper Flagg, from Klay Thompson in the first half, and how the Mavs didn't capitalize on those. Coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook, all kinds of things that you can use to get on the action. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. You can do all kinds of things with FanDuel, all the live bets that you can take advantage of. They got all kinds of live things that you can do right now. The Nuggets are a 24.5 point favorite, or 24.5 point favorite live right now against the Jazz. You can do a fourth quarter spread if the Nuggets win by 5.5 points. Fourth quarter total points I could do live during this game right now as we're recording this. All kinds of things you can do with FanDuel. So go check it out. And if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your live NFL and NBA bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, so can you.
Shut it down! Oh, let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners who are listening every day. We got 2 things. The Everydayer Club, where you can subscribe and get ad-free episodes of this show, plus access to our Discord. It's like a Slack channel for everybody to be able to talk Mavs things. There's fun stuff going on all the time. Isaac and I are in there talking up stuff. I think Slightly is roaming around potentially in there.
Discord?
And our text line, you can also get access to the Discord through that, and you can get we'll send every single rumor we hear, text updates throughout the day about games and things like that. So the text line is also available. Both things in the links in the description or the QR code. All right, Slightly.
Trade deadline's right around the corner, man.
That's what you want the text line for, because I'll be fast and furious sending those rumors every time I see one, and we'll give you our thoughts. That's the thing I go to first, not Twitter, not the show, the text line, and then the show, and then Twitter probably.
Nice.
Anthony Davis, 35 points, 17 boards. Like, I hate to be a broken record sometimes. I'm like, man, he was really good, but it's like I feel like every single game I go, he was really good, but he was really good, but. And sometimes that's just, if you're expected to be a top 15, top 10 player, you're expected to carry the team at points. And I thought he did at points, and then I thought he didn't close it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to just sit here, 35 points, 17 rebounds, like, he did dominate the game in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, down the stretch, this was kind of similar to the Sixers game where it's like, you know, you need a guy late who can kind of take games over. And yeah, AD hasn't really been that, but just some tough shots. Again, I don't think he's being, and this goes back to the conversation, and like, I'm not doing the AD can be the number one conversation stuff. Like, that's a different conversation that we've had a million times that clearly has, you know, played itself out throughout the course of AD's career. But like, it's hard when you don't have guys that set you up in the ways that you want. I'm just like, I don't know. It feels like they don't run a lot of 2-man game with him. I don't understand it. That should be a reliable go-to late game play for you all the time. Like, I'm going to run a 2-man game with AD and Naji Marshall. I'm going to run a 2-man game with AD. And it's just like, nah, just give him the ball at the, 18 feet from the basket, and let's just hope for the best. They
tried to run him like as a hub, the hub, quote unquote, where he's like, all right, let's run a little dribble handoff. Let's have him, be at the top of the key and guys cut. It does not feel like you're putting him in advantageous situations. It doesn't feel like you're getting him on the move either, because AD planted at the 18-foot mark is not as good as AD on the move off of a roll. Very first play of the game, Cooper Flagg, pick and roll, Anthony Davis, layup right to the rim, boom. And I felt like he was really taking advantage of the Pelicans not having rim protection, and it's not like they had rim protection late in the game either, right?
No, yeah.
Who did they put in late, or what scheme did they change that made them all of a sudden have rim protection?
Well, they kind of started to wall off and really take advantage of the Mavs' lack of 3-point shooting and decide we're really just going to like play the gaps and prevent any drives by Coop or AD. Yeah. And the Mavs just kind of stagnated a little bit. And that is where it's like, can we run some type of 2-man action? Like, please, I don't. Please, can we get something going? Because sometimes it feels like the Mavs offense is so built on we're going to get some stops and run in transition, which is cool. Like, it's awesome. I was looking at some stuff today. Like, Cooper Flagg's transition numbers are insane. They're insanely good. And it's like, yeah, that's great. But, like, what if the other team's scoring every single time down the floor, which is what the Pelicans were doing? It feels like they have no go-to, all right, that's cool. We need a bucket here. Nimby, get the ball at the top of the key. We're going to have AD come and set a high ball screen, and we're going to go to work. They don't do any of that, it feels like. So I don't know. I think it's partially team construction, roster construction. Yeah, what do you expect? That type of stuff. But it could be better. It's very frustrating to watch.
It is hard when you look at a game like this and you go, man, we're so frustrated with this Mavericks team. Who are their guards in this game? Oh, Ryan.
I know, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like, Hardy. Yeah, all this stuff that we knew were problems entering the season or have been problems the last 2 games.
D'Angelo Russell didn't play a minute. Even when Brandon Williams was hurt and was on the bench, then on the bike, and then he came back in the game. But they went Jaden Hardy for 11 minutes. Like, the D'Angelo Russell experiment is done.
Yeah, it's done. I'd actually be surprised if he finished the season on the team.
Very surprised.
Yeah.
That's one of the bigger disappointments of the season, roster construction wise. Like, all right, you expected a lot out of D'Angelo Russell to at least stand in the gap and play 20. Could he give me 20 minutes? No, he couldn't give 1 minute, according to Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I know. I can't say I disagree though. Like, I don't.
No,
you know what I mean.
He was bad. He had some decent games. You lived and died by, but then he was turned into like a 2 where he could only play with Nembhard or Brandon Williams, and now it's like Jason Kidd only trust Nembhard and Brandon Williams, and then sometimes he's like, I trust neither of you. I'm gonna put Naji out there as the point guard. Yeah,
I do feel like maybe there are games with hindsight you can go back and be like, no. I think D'Lo probably should have got some burn there with how your guards are playing. But I feel like as a coach, too, at some point, you got to say, all right, we got to establish some consistency. Like, it's tough if every game is just this cycling, well, you better not miss a shot. Because if you miss a shot, you're on the end of the bench.
And you're out.
Right. Like, so that might be where we're at. Again, there's some, if you're a tank truther, there might be just some like, hey, they aren't doing it. Like, they're doing it in front of your eyes. Like they just are with how they play sometimes.
I'm going to say something really controversial. If the Mavs were tanking, I don't think the move would be to bench D'Angelo Russell.
Maybe that's not how they view it.
I don't think that would be the move. And let Anthony Davis shoot 28 times.
True. I don't know, actually, though. D'Lo benched with Hardy getting 11 minutes.
Caleb Martin playing just under 17 minutes.
Caleb Martin was actually legitimately good tonight.
Yeah, but you didn't know that when you decided to play him.
Well, I feel like Caleb Martin has this feeling across the league where it's like, well, that guy defends and at a high level, like we want him on the floor. He feels like one of those guys.
Well, that's what I said all offseason. Like, all right, at least you know he's gonna be able to defend, and even some of that has been a struggle this season.
Yeah.
The guard play is probably the biggest culprit in a game like this because the Mavs are just not designed to score late, score at all. You know what their half court offense was?
Horrible.
84.5, 16th percentile. Awful. And the Pelicans wasn't that much better, 90.5. That's 31st percentile.
No, this game was not good.
It was a bad offensive game, but the Pelicans got a couple things going in half court in the last 5 minutes, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, they just had the guy. Like, they just had Zion, and that was it. The Mavs just didn't have. And sometimes this season it's been stretches where it's like, oh my God, Coop's hitting that little following mid-range jumper, and it's just like, give him the ball and he'll create for himself.
The Clippers,
and he'll carry us.
After the Clippers game, the Locked On Clippers probably had the same conversation we're having. It's like, oh, they had Coop and he was the closer, and we didn't have anybody.
True, very true.
It happens.
It's kind of the it's kind of the 19-year-old, 18-year-old rookie experience that again we all had to. There's gonna be highs and lows for sure. But again, tonight's not even a night where I'm like, well, the ball was in his hands all the time. Like it wasn't even really. But yeah, just a reminder that this team's not great. They're probably just a pretty mid team. Kyrie kind of gets them a little over the hump to maybe being like a pretty solid, okay team. That's just kind of where they're at, I think.
That's kind of where they are. Sometimes they'll surprise you and beat a Pistons, a Nuggets, a Rockets, and sometimes they'll lose to the Pelicans.
Well, that's part of the mid experience.
Yeah.
Mid teams beat good teams in the league all the time.
We're in it. We're in the mid experience right now.
Yeah, we are.
We are experienced with mid, I feel.
Yeah, we are. We're pretty.
Coming up, Klay Thompson, 20 points in the first half, none in the second half. What happened with him? Where else should the Mavericks go? What changes should be made? Talk about that more coming up.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legends advanced tools. Or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, so expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, it's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Slightly. As Slightly trades his crypto.
Yep. I'm on Kalashi trading futures.
Oh, I just traded one of those plays, those final plays. I knew that layup was going to go in. Klay Thompson, 20 points in the first half.
Wait. I have to stop and hijack the show real quick. Because I thought about another problem for this team that actually might be might be its most glaring one.
Okay.
Because there was a stretch in this game in the fourth quarter where they went double big, and they went AD Pete Gafford.
Very quick. They did it very quickly. 4 minutes and 53 seconds. They put Gafford in, and then they take him out with 3:28. So like a minute 20. They did.
And why did they take it out so quickly?
Did it work?
Because it was horrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Not only did they not score at all, but they gave up 100%. I'm sorry, not 100% field goal percentage, but a bucket every possession. They didn't grab a single offensive rebound. They gave up an offensive rebound. I think that's been a big problem is the whole size thing for this team doesn't feel like it's happening at all. Right?
No, without Lively obviously is a huge factor.
Right, of course.
Even with Gafford back and AD playing, Kid hasn't played them together.
And
is it because they don't have a backup five and they have to play Gafford
no.
there? And you're like, okay, well, but no, it's because it hasn't worked.
And here's a sneaky kind of like underlying problem with this team. Gafford has just straight up not been good at all this year.
You can vote for him for All-Star. DallasMavericks.com.
To be fair, every team does that. Every team does that with all their
Every
guys.
team does that, but why do you have to do that? You set a guy up to fail so hard.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna do it though. It's just what teams do.
The Thunder did a Lou Dort one, and I'm looking at the replies, just going, "Why are you setting this guy up for this?" I mean, he's been one of the most hated players on the Thunder team by their own fans this season.
True, that's true. He has been, but I do think.
I mean, Gafford has not been. He's played 14 minutes, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, a foul, 1 of 3 from the field. He without a pick and roll partner, really.
I know
he's been playing with the bench minutes, so he's been playing with Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is not like a pick and roll guard. You're like, they're trying to stretch Ryan Nembhard out to be their pick and roll guy. It just the Mavs have these finishers on this team, Klay Thompson included, but the Mavs have these finishers on the team and they don't have a setup guy.
And I think you've also gotten like a pretty rough PJ stretch lately. Like it was early in the season where like, dude, PJ's been the best player on the team.
He was.
And I feel like we're kind of far removed from that now. And it's just, it's more defensively. Like I don't feel the Mavs size very often recently.
Well, you have Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, and PJ Washington all playing. 72 points in the paint for the Pelicans.
You should still, like that should be good.
Yeah, that should be the thing that they are good at.
And I know they have some like perimeter defense stuff, so it's difficult to, when you've got Nembhard playing, Brandon Williams is a small guard who's not great defensively either. Like Klay's out there a good chunk of time. Yeah. So like I get it. You're getting beat on the perimeter and stuff, but like still the back line is just like, I feel like you can get, I don't know if there's any stats about this with some of the paint points for other teams, but I feel like you can get deep on this Mavs defense, and like the Mavs just like overhelp so much sometimes where like there's drop offs, there's dump offs, and then there's kickouts to guys who are cutting and driving off of closeouts. That's where it feels like it breaks down completely.
Yeah, it's like the help comes and then the second move.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is a little underwhelming. Like that's one of the things with Gaff and even PJ at times. You're just like, man,
well,
I still think these guys are good players, but
you have Anthony Davis in the game, who I thought played well. Pelicans took 45 shots at the rim, 51% of their shots at the rim.
Yeah, that's been a trend lately. And to the Mavs' credit,
Sixers game, same thing.
To the Mavs' credit, they've like held their opponents to porous shooting at the rim.
They made 28 of the 45. That's 62%, 34th percentile. So that's bad. So it was a bad rim game for the Pelicans, but they still took 45. Pelicans hit 28 shots at the rim. Mavs hit 19 shots at the rim, right? Like you just don't win a game that often when you're getting outscored at the rim by that many.
And let me be clear, like tonight was the offense broke down late. Defensively, I thought you played pretty well. Obviously, like down the stretch, Zion just went nuclear down the stretch, and you probably should have sent help a couple times a little bit earlier in the shot clock because, PJ's a good defender, and some of those he played good defense, but Zion's just Zion. I mean, he's one of the all-time freakiest athletes we've seen.
Yeah, his first step is
freaky in multiple ways.
The goatee was scaring me. Like
he looks great, by the way. He really does.
With the goatee too.
Well, I'm just saying physically.
That is part of the physical.
Honestly, I don't think I hate the goatee.
He looks like an evil villain, like in a kid's cartoon.
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of works.
Oh man, would you call this a bad loss for the Mavs?
Yes.
I think it's a bad loss though. Even though they weren't favored, Pelicans coming in hot.
I just hate what I saw. Like I thought they played bad basketball.
Yeah, and they're up 10 in the fourth quarter. It's like, okay, you had a moment, and then you just.
And selfishly, with first overall pick, it's like if I'm not going down guns a-blazing with him, then I'm just like, ugh.
Right.
I
keep saying Klay Thompson, 20 points in the first half, didn't score the second half at all.
Yeah.
seems like another symptom of we don't have a setup guy.
Exactly that.
Where nobody was setting up anything.
Exactly that. What did he go 0-5 in the second half? So he did get some shots, but yeah. And to be fair, they became a little bit more aggressive on going over on screens with him and stuff like that. And I thought he parlayed that into some pretty good. I think he like missed a good look at a layup and had a couple nice passes there in the second half. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a big symptom of you're not getting set up consistently.
It's tough.
And you miss the shots.
Tough to watch a team with the guard play like it is right now. And Nembhard was okay, but not good. And he's an undrafted two-way rookie, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he was probably a second round worthy guy. But once you get in the second round, there's so much politics involved. Who did you vote for? Like that's what I mean when I say that.
Reportedly, he could have gotten drafted in the 50s and didn't want to. So.
Yeah, and he was a big time independent voter, and some teams are just like, dude, you're stealing votes from other parties when you're doing that.
Is he voting for Clutch Player of the Year?
He's a third party voter. There's just harsh opinions that way, so that kind of
they can bring it to Texas. That won't make a difference.
That kind of tanked it, but no, there's a reason why. I mean, he's smaller, he's not good defensively, and he's a good player, though. But yeah, if he's your starting point guard, I mean, the Mavs, think about this. The Mavs started the game with an Anthony Davis layup. Cooper Flagg, like you said earlier, two-man game, beautiful.
Right.
Up 2-0. From that point, I can't even do this with a straight face. I was about to say, from that point forward, the Pelicans went on a 119-111 run. If I was on a broadcast, I would say if I was on a broadcast like Thunder Grizzlies is 84-73 right now, going to the fourth quarter, I'd be like, Thunder on an 84-73 run.
I love that when the run gets stretched a little too far. Even in my notes, like I'm the only one reading these, and sometimes it'll be like, all right, at 27-7, and I'll
27-7's big.
I'll want to write run, and I'll just be like stretch.
Yeah,
because it's not really a run. There have been multiple timeouts during that. There may be a quarter change between that.
I just like the idea of just being like, well, the Celtics went on a 103-95 run to win the game 103-95. It's like, well, technically that's true.
Well, we're on a stretch where we have 2 games in 2 days. So
are they sitting guys tomorrow?
We're on a 29 game stretch, you and me.
That's right. Wow. Tomorrow's 30?
I'm pretty sure. Because what? Yeah, they're 11 and 19 now. So this was 30.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, tomorrow's 31.
30. The season's basically dead.
The old Jet, the Klay Thompson number, the 31. Home for the Nuggets. So hopefully we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, I feel like guys might be sitting, so don't be disappointed.
Yeah, because the Christmas Day game is a day and a half after that, and
Christmas Day game.
Guys in the injury report already.
I was just about to say, and I feel like when they do the injury report thing, where there's like an injury that we never heard of, like the back thing for Cooper Flagg, it's a setup for the next night.
Well, AD was not on the injury report, so
interesting. That's true.
He was not at all. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more. Hang out with me and Slightly. Go check out his YouTube channel. Great stuff over there. We'll have more on this channel and this feed as well. Guys, thanks for listening to it. Locked on Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
It'll get less boring, hopefully.